Ladies and gentlemen, there's a moment in every person's life when the weight feels unbearable, when the world seems to be closing in, and no matter how hard we try, it feels like we're walking alone. We question, we doubt, we wonder if we'll ever make it through. But what if we weren't alone? What if even in our darkest moments, there was something greater standing by us, unwavering, unshaken? There's a story about a man walking along a beach with God, looking back at the footprints in the sand. He notices that in the most difficult times of his life, there was only one set of footprints. Confused and hurt, he asks, "Why did you leave me when I needed you the most?" And the answer comes, "It was then that I carried you." It's easy to believe in something greater when life is good, when everything is working out as planned, but real faith, real trust is tested in the struggle. And in that struggle, we are not abandoned, we are being carried. Difficult times aren't proof that we've been left behind. They're often proof that we are being strengthened. It's in those moments when we think we're alone that something greater is actually closest. We may not always see it, we may not always feel it, but if we look back, we'll realize that the times we thought we were walking alone were the times we were being lifted. What gets us through isn't just our strength, it's knowing that we are not alone, that through every storm, through every setback, through every loss, we are being held up by something greater than ourselves. And when we embrace that, when we trust in it, we find the courage to keep going. Because we are never truly alone. This stays true to Simon Sinek's approach, starting with a powerful idea, reinforcing it with a story, and leading to an inspiring conclusion. Does this work for you? Difficult times can feel isolating, but we are never truly alone. Faith is tested in struggle, not in comfort. Challenges are not a sign of abandonment, they are opportunities for growth. What feels like a burden may actually be a lesson in strength. We may not always see it, but we are being carried through our hardest moments. Looking back, we often realize that the toughest times led to our greatest growth. Trusting in something greater than ourselves gives us the courage to keep moving forward. Pain and struggle refine us, not define us. Resilience is built when we believe that we are supported even when we feel weak. Hope is not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the presence of unwavering faith. Would you like me to refine or expand on any of these? There are moments in life when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when no one seems to understand, and the silence around us feels louder than ever. The struggle can make it seem as though we are walking this road alone, carrying burdens too heavy to bear. But just because we don't see someone beside us doesn't mean we are truly alone. There's something powerful about knowing that even when things seem to be falling apart, we are being held together by something greater than ourselves. It might not be obvious in the moment, but there is always a presence, always a force standing with us, guiding us, strengthening us. Think of the times when everything felt impossible, and yet somehow you made it through. It wasn't by accident. There was strength given to you in ways you couldn't see. The right person showed up, the right words were spoken, an unexpected opportunity appeared. These moments are not coincidences, they are reminders that we are never left alone in our hardest battles. Isolation is a feeling, not a reality. It tricks us into believing that we have to fight on our own, that no one is there to understand, to support, to guide. But just because we can't see help in front of us doesn't mean it's not there. The hardest moments in life are often when we are being carried the most. Connection is also about inclusivity. A vision that connects doesn't just appeal to one group or perspective, it invites everyone to participate. It recognizes that people bring diverse experiences and viewpoints, and it finds common ground that unites rather than divides. Inclusivity ensures that the vision doesn't alienate, but instead builds a shared sense of purpose and belonging. When a vision prioritizes connection over abstraction, it transforms from a statement into a movement. It becomes something people feel, something they talk about, and something they're willing to fight for. It's not just an idea on paper. It's a shared commitment that brings people together, creating momentum and energy that no abstract concept could ever achieve. Connection makes the vision real, and in doing so, meaningful vision goes beyond individual goals, extending its reach to something larger than any one person's ambition or achievement. It's not just about what one individual can accomplish, or the recognition they might receive. It's about creating a collective impact that leaves a lasting legacy. Individual goals are important, but they are often temporary or self-contained. A vision that transcends them connects people to a shared purpose, aligning their efforts towards something that benefits the greater good. When a vision rises above individual goals, it fosters collaboration. People are no longer competing for personal success, but working together toward a common cause. This shift creates a sense of unity and teamwork, where the success of the group matters more than personal accolades. It inspires people to contribute their unique strengths and talents, knowing that their efforts are part of a larger mosaic that will accomplish far more than they ever could alone. A vision that transcends individual goals also provides meaning that lasts beyond the immediate. Personal achievements can be fleeting, their significance fading once the moment has passed. But when those achievements contribute to something greater, they become part of a story that continues to unfold. This creates a sense of purpose that endures, giving people a reason to keep striving even when their personal goals have been reached. Such a vision also invites selflessness. It challenges people to think beyond their own desires and consider the impact of their actions on others. This shift in perspective encourages humility and a deeper sense of responsibility. People are no longer driven solely by what they can gain, but by what they can give. This selflessness doesn't diminish their contributions, it amplifies them, as their efforts are focused on creating something meaningful for the wider community. A vision that transcends individual goals also provides resilience in the face of challenges. When people are working towards something larger than themselves, they are more likely to persevere. Setbacks become less discouraging because the purpose is bigger than the obstacle. It's easier to stay motivated when the work isn't just about personal success, but about creating a lasting impact that matters to many. Finally, a vision that looks beyond individual goals inspires others. It creates a ripple effect, drawing in people who might not have been part of the original effort, but who see the value in contributing to something extraordinary. This broader appeal helps the vision grow, spreading its influence far beyond its original scope. It stops being just one person's or one group's ambition, and becomes a shared mission that unites and uplifts everyone it touches. When a vision transcends individual goals, it elevates everyone involved. It transforms ambition into purpose, competition into collaboration, and effort into legacy. It shifts the focus from what can I achieve to what can we create together. And in doing so, it changes everything. A truly meaningful vision is not just an idea. It's a living, breathing force that inspires action, builds connections, and leaves a lasting impact. It begins with purpose, the unwavering why that guides every step forward. It is grounded in empathy, understanding, and addressing the needs of those it seeks to serve. It demands courage, the boldness to challenge the status quo and persevere through uncertainty. It recognizes the strength of others and inspires that strength in itself by demanding it. It thrives on connection, transforming abstract ideals into tangible, shared experiences. And it transcends individual goals, uniting people in pursuit of something far greater than themselves. When these elements come together, a vision becomes more than a plan, it becomes a movement. It aligns hearts and minds, empowers others to contribute their best, and creates a legacy that echoes far beyond its origins. This is the power of a meaningful vision. It doesn't just inspire, it transforms. It doesn't just lead, it uplifts. And in doing so, it has the potential to change the world. Looking back, the hardest seasons often reveal their purpose. The struggle that once felt impossible becomes the very thing that prepared us. The burden we wanted to escape becomes the lesson that changed us. Pain transforms into wisdom. Setbacks turn into strength. What once felt like a weight pulling us down actually pushes us forward. It's not the struggle itself that defines us, it's how we respond to it. When seen through the right perspective, burdens aren't just something to endure, they are opportunities to grow. And with every challenge, with every weight carried, we become stronger than we ever thought possible. There are moments in life when the weight of everything feels unbearable, when nothing seems to go right, when the path forward is unclear, and when every step feels heavier than the last. In those moments, it's easy to believe we are alone, left to figure it out on our own. But just because we can't see something doesn't mean it isn't there. Think about the times you've made it through what you thought was impossible. The moments when you had no idea how you'd keep going, and yet, somehow you did. Strength came when you needed it most. The right words, the right people, the right opportunities appeared at just the right time. Looking back, it becomes clear something greater was carrying you. Just like a child learning to walk, there is always a steady hand nearby, ready to catch them when they stumble. They may fall, they may struggle, but they are never truly alone. The same is true in life. Even when we can't see the help, even when we don't feel the support, we are being carried through our hardest moments in ways we may not recognize until later. The hardest seasons are often the ones that shape us the most. They teach us, strengthen us, and prepare us for what's ahead. And while it may not always be obvious in the moment, one day we'll look back and realize that in the times we thought we were walking alone, we were actually being carried all along. In the middle of a storm, it's hard to see anything but the rain. When life is at its hardest, when the weight feels unbearable, and when every step forward feels impossible, all that exists in the moment is struggle. But time has a way of revealing things we couldn't see before. The moments that felt like breaking points often turn out to be turning points. The situations we wished would end, the challenges we thought would defeat us, the times we felt lost and uncertain, those are the very experiences that shape us. Looking back, what once felt unbearable is often the reason we became stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Strength isn't built in ease. The greatest lessons come from the hardest trials, and the most defining moments are often disguised as difficulties. When everything seems to be falling apart, something deeper is actually coming together. It's only in hindsight that we realize the struggles that once tested us actually prepared us. The doors that closed led to better opportunities. The disappointments shaped our character. The seasons of difficulty refined our purpose. What once felt like an obstacle turned out to be the very thing that made us who we are today. And while no one welcomes struggle, there comes a moment when we look back and realize we wouldn't trade those lessons for anything. There are moments in life when the road ahead is unclear, when uncertainty weighs heavy, when fear creeps in, when every step feels uncertain. It's in these moments that doubt whispers, telling us to stop, to turn back, to give up. But those who keep moving forward aren't the ones who have everything figured out. They are the ones who trust in something greater than themselves. Trust is what allows people to take the next step when they can't see the whole path. It's what keeps them standing when everything around them is shifting. It's what gives them the strength to face what feels impossible. Without trust, fear takes over. Without trust, hesitation replaces action. But when there is faith in something bigger, something beyond personal limitations, courage takes root. There is a reason people who endure the hardest trials often come out stronger, not just because they pushed through, but because they believed they were not alone. They may not have seen the way forward, but they trusted that one existed. They may not have had the answers, but they believed the answers would come. This kind of trust creates resilience, not because the journey is easy, but because it no longer depends on personal strength alone. The difference between those who give up and those who keep going is not their circumstances, it's their belief. When trust is placed in something greater, fear loses its grip. And with that trust comes the courage to take one more step, even when the way is unknown. Pain has a way of shaping us, of marking us, but it does not have the power to define who we are. In the thick of struggle, it's easy to get caught up in the weight of what we're facing. The hurt feels personal, the challenges feel isolating, and the journey seems long and unending. But while pain is inevitable, it's not a sentence, it's a process. Struggles don't have the final say, they simply refine us. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of stone, removing the excess to reveal the masterpiece within, pain and hardship carve away at the things we don't need. They push us to become who we are meant to be, removing the parts that hold us back, forcing us to confront our weaknesses, and challenging us to grow. When we face hardship, we are given the chance to choose, to let it define us or to let it refine us. It's easy to get stuck in the narrative of being a victim of our circumstances, to allow pain to become the label we wear. But that's not the truth. The truth is that we are more than our pain. What we go through doesn't dictate who we are. It's how we respond to it that shapes us. Struggle, when faced with perseverance, doesn't break us. It makes us stronger. It teaches us patience, resilience, and empathy. It pushes us to dig deeper, to reach further, to be more than we thought we could be. Pain is not a reflection of who we are. It's a catalyst for who we can become. It's a part of our journey, not the end of it. Resilience doesn't come from never feeling weak. It comes from the ability to keep going despite feeling that way. Life has a way of testing our limits, of pushing us to places where we question our strength, our endurance, and even our worth. In those moments, it's easy to think that we're not enough, that we can't keep moving forward, that the struggle will overpower us. But resilience is built in the very moments when we feel the weakest. The key is believing that we are not alone in those moments. It's in the times when we feel most fragile that the belief in something greater, in the support of others, or in our own inner strength becomes the anchor. When we believe that we are held, even when we feel unsteady, something incredible happens. We find the strength to keep going, one step at a time. Our greatest moments of growth often come after the hardest battles, and it's in those battles that resilience is forged. It's not about being invincible or never feeling vulnerable. It's about knowing that even when we feel weak, we are still moving forward, still being carried, still being supported. Resilience is not the absence of struggle. It's the ability to persist through it, to trust that even when we don't feel strong, we are still being held up by something greater than ourselves. Believing that we are supported, whether by others, by our own faith, or by our resilience, changes everything. It turns weakness into power. It turns doubt into belief, and it allows us to continue walking forward even when we feel like we have nothing left to give. Hope isn't the absence of difficulty, it's the presence of belief in something greater. When life is easy and everything falls into place, it's easy to feel hopeful. But true hope doesn't come from a life without struggle. It comes from the faith that something good is still ahead, even when things aren't going as planned. In fact, it's often in the most difficult times that hope becomes the most powerful. Hope isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It's about having the courage to believe in something beyond the immediate struggle. It's the belief that there is a purpose in the challenge, a lesson to be learned, or a strength to be gained. Hope isn't passive, it's active. It's something we choose to hold on to, even when we can't see the way forward. What gets us through the hardest moments isn't the absence of difficulty, it's knowing that there is something bigger, something we can trust, something that will guide us through the storm. It's faith that no matter how overwhelming the moment may feel, we are not walking this path alone. Hope is not a fleeting feeling, it's a deep-rooted belief. It doesn't come from external circumstances, it comes from within. It's the faith that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will come. And when we hold on to that belief, when we trust that something greater is at work, we find the strength to keep moving forward, even in the most uncertain of times. In the end, it's not the absence of struggle that defines us, but how we face it. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt is an opportunity for growth. It's in the hardest moments that we find our greatest strength, not because the pain is easy, but because it is through the pain that we learn who we really are. We are never truly alone. We are supported and carried even when we don't see it. And it is through unwavering faith, even in the darkest times, that we find the courage to keep moving forward. Hope doesn't arise from avoiding difficulty, but from believing that there is something greater at work, guiding us toward a better tomorrow. It is in embracing the struggle, trusting the process, and holding on to that belief that we discover the true power of resilience. The dynamic also reflects a broader issue in how organizations perceive and value leadership at different levels. Middle managers are often seen as intermediaries, executing rather than leading, even though their role requires substantial leadership skills. This perception can perpetuate the cycle of under-recognition, as their contributions are viewed as part of the process rather than integral to the outcomes. Despite this, middle managers continue to play a pivotal role. They are the ones who mediate, guide, and adapt in real time, ensuring that the work gets done even under challenging circumstances. Their ability to navigate the imbalance of credit and accountability is a testament to their resilience and dedication, even when the rewards may not always be proportional to their efforts. Middle managers hold a unique position in shaping the culture of an organization. While senior leaders may define the vision, values, and strategic direction, it is middle managers who bring these elements to life on a day-to-day basis. They are the ones closest to the teams, directly influencing how employees experience their work environment, interpret organizational priorities, and engage with their roles. This proximity gives them an unparalleled ability to shape the cultural fabric of the organization. The way middle managers interact with their teams sets the tone for trust, respect, and collaboration. When they lead with empathy, fairness, and authenticity, they create a space where people feel valued and motivated. These behaviors ripple outward, fostering a culture that promotes openness and psychological safety. On the other hand, if middle managers are dismissive, disconnected, or overly authoritative, the opposite effect can occur, leading to disengagement and mistrust. Middle managers also play a critical role in translating high-level values into everyday actions. It's one thing for senior leaders to articulate a commitment to innovation, teamwork, or diversity. It's another for these principles to be reflected in how work gets done. Middle managers bridge this gap by modeling the desired behaviors, reinforcing them in their teams, and ensuring that they are woven into processes, decisions, and interactions. They make the abstract tangible, turning organizational values into lived experiences. Their influence extends beyond direct interactions. Middle managers often serve as the point of contact for feedback and ideas, encouraging team members to voice their thoughts and concerns. By creating an environment where input is welcomed and acted upon, they reinforce a culture of inclusion and collaboration. This openness can lead to higher levels of trust and engagement, as employees feel their contributions matter and their voices are heard. Additionally, middle managers play a vital role in sustaining the organization's culture during times of change or uncertainty. When new initiatives are introduced or when the organization faces challenges, employees often look to their immediate leaders for guidance and reassurance. The way middle managers respond in these moments, whether they exhibit confidence, adaptability, and support, or project doubt and frustration, can significantly influence how their teams navigate the situation. The cultural influence of middle managers is also amplified by their role as role models. Teams observe how their leaders handle stress, prioritize tasks, and engage with others. These observations shape the team's understanding of what behaviors are acceptable and encouraged within the organization. Middle managers who demonstrate integrity, collaboration, and resilience inspire their teams to embody those same values, creating a positive cycle of reinforcement. And ultimately, while culture may be set at the top, it is sustained and nurtured in the middle. Middle managers have the power to shape how individuals experience the workplace and how teams function collectively. Their actions, decisions, and attitudes create the context in which culture either thrives or falters, making their influence one of the most powerful drivers of organizational success. Empathy and trust are foundational to effective leadership, especially for middle managers who are tasked with balancing the needs of their teams and the expectations of senior leadership. These qualities are not just desirable, they are essential in fostering collaboration, motivation, and resilience within an organization. Empathy allows middle managers to understand and connect with the experiences, challenges, and emotions of their team members. By putting themselves in others' shoes, they can anticipate concerns, address frustrations, and provide support in a way that feels personal and meaningful. This understanding helps to create an environment where employees feel valued and heard, which in turn enhances morale and productivity. A manager who listens to their team's concerns without judgment and takes the time to understand their perspectives builds stronger, more authentic relationships. Trust is equally important. It forms the bedrock of effective teamwork and collaboration. Employees who trust their manager are more likely to be open about their struggles, take initiative, and embrace new challenges. Trust is built over time through consistent actions, keeping promises, being transparent, and treating everyone with fairness and respect. When a manager demonstrates integrity and reliability, they create a sense of stability even in times of uncertainty. Empathy and trust also play a critical role in handling conflict and change. When tensions arise, a manager's ability to approach the situation with empathy can de-escalate emotions and guide the team toward resolution. Trust ensures that even in difficult moments, team members believe in their manager's intentions and are willing to follow their guidance. In times of organizational change, these qualities become even more crucial. Empathetic managers acknowledge the anxieties and uncertainties that come with change, while trust reassures employees that their leader has their best interests at heart. Moreover, empathy and trust enable middle managers to effectively advocate for their teams. By understanding the challenges their employees face, they can present these issues to senior leadership in a way that drives action and allocates resources where they are needed most. This advocacy strengthens the manager's relationship with their team, as employees see that their leader is invested in their success and well-being. Beyond their immediate team, these qualities also influence how middle managers interact with peers and senior leaders. Empathy fosters collaboration by encouraging understanding across departments or hierarchies, while trust ensures that partnerships are built on mutual respect and shared goals. Together, they create an environment where relationships are not transactional, but are instead rooted in a shared commitment to organizational success. Empathy and trust are not one-time efforts. They require consistent attention and care. Small gestures, such as acknowledging someone's hard work, showing appreciation, or being available to listen, go a long way in reinforcing these values. They are what make leadership human, allowing middle managers to inspire and guide their teams not through authority, but through connection. It is this connection that ultimately drives engagement, loyalty, and long-term success. Middle management is one of the most challenging yet impactful roles in any organization. It requires balancing dual responsibilities, acting as a bridge between leadership and teams, and navigating the pressures that come with being in the middle. The role is demanding, often marked by an imbalance in credit and accountability, but it also holds immense potential to shape culture, inspire others, and drive meaningful results. Empathy and trust are the foundation upon which great middle managers build strong relationships and resilient teams, enabling them to turn vision into reality and foster environments where people thrive. Though the challenges are significant, the influence and importance of middle managers cannot be overstated. They are the connective tissue that holds organizations together and moves them forward. The third thing